Welcome back, gamers, to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers. If you happen to be new here, make sure you tap that subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you'll be notified whenever we post our latest and greatest gaming content. Plus, comment down below with which character from the Sonic series is your favorite. Now let's get into today's video, the top 10 scary Scourge the Hedgehog facts. At number 10, how he turned green. Back in the day, Scourge used to look exactly like Sonic the Hedgehog, with the only difference being the leather jacket and retro sunglasses. However, when he attempted to steal the Master Emerald with his partner Rouge the Bat, things went horribly wrong. Scourge managed to utilize the Chaos Energy to become stronger, but it ultimately led to him being punched by Locke. While being struck in the middle of absorbing the Emerald's energy, it transformed the character's blue fur into green, finally separating him from his Mobius counterpart. In at number 9, he had a distant father. Scourge never really had a terrific relationship with his father, Anti-Jules Hedgehog, even from the young age of 7. Around that time, his father was pushing the idea of great peace in the dimension known as Anti-Mobius. This work kept his father so busy that Scourge never really saw him all that much, and even referred to his own dad as a man with empty words. Ooh. Just makes you kind of feel bad for the evil Sonic, even for just a moment. He sounds like a kid that waited for his parents to pick him up from school and then ended up having to walk home. In at number 8, he killed his father. After his father Anti-Jules established the Great Peace, it surprisingly led to the decline and apparent stagnation of Anti-Mobius. Now that 10 years had passed and the dimension was at its lowest point, Scourge saw this as a moment to take matters into his own hands. Seeing how weak Anti-Mobius had become, he killed his own father to make seizing power of the dimension that much easier. Although he didn't stop there. Along with Anti-Sally, the two threw King Anti-Max into the Zone of Silence and seized control of Mobitropolis as well. In at number 7, he's done jail time. As you would imagine, someone with the name Evil at the start of their name will most likely be up to no good, and Scourge's nefarious actions have gotten him into trouble a number of times. For starters, while Sonic and his crew were in the negative reality attempting to rescue King Max, the anti-freedom fighters showed up to Mobius Prime and assumed the identities of their well-intentioned counterparts. When Sonic returned and saw the havoc that they caused, he sent them all back to Anti-Mobius. It was a fair warning, but the following events did not pan out as well as that one. Now with a focused rivalry on Sonic and wanting to get back at him, he teamed up with Robo Robotnik to collect the giant Borg battlesuit to defeat his enemy. However, he was trapped on Mobius, then freed by Sonya and Manic. Not long after that, he was captured yet again, but this time was imprisoned in the No Zone by Sonic the Zone Cop. This world is a mess. In at number 6, he manipulates women. Yeah, you heard me right. When performing another switch with his Mobius counterpart, he made romantic advances on Bunny Rabbit, and then Amy Rose, and then a number of other girls that also lived in Knothole. His final play was to focus on getting control of Rouge the Bat, who he found to be the most attractive looking on all of Mobius Prime. Although Rouge the Bat knew that Scourge sought to use her as well, but ultimately ended up helping the evil Sonic escape when the real Sonic showed up to do battle. Soon the romantic interest in each other was surpassed by greed when it came down to getting control of the Master Emerald. When the two fought with Locke, Rouge received the brunt of the Guardian's anger, giving Scourge the perfect opportunity to steal the Emerald for himself. In at number 5, he changed his name. As I mentioned before, when Scourge attempted to steal the Master Emerald, Locke interrupted by striking him with a Chaos-infused punch right before he reached full super status. It took Scourge a moment to recover from the crushing blow, but once the transformation begun, he now had 2 marks on his chest from Locke's attack, his fur was green, and more importantly, his strength was enhanced far beyond his counterpart Sonic. He then declared himself a real Scourge. This moment was pivotal because it freed him from this evil twin identity that he had been latched onto since the character's inception. In at number 4, he was bullied. Now, I've been talking a big game about Scourge for the last few points, and many of you may assume that he must be this supremely confident character, but he's been bullied as well. While in prison, Scourge was subjected to wearing a control collar and even had his spikes cut down. This put the once ruler of Anti-Mobius at the bottom of the food chain in the prison system and made him an easy target for bullying. It left him with little to no hope, and he even feared being beaten up for trying to form a gang of his own. Fiona, though, came to his rescue under the terms that if she helped him escape, they would have to work for Dr. Finitivis. I'm happy I got through that name. Although plans soon changed once he escaped, he then declared that he was the leader now and that he would be starting a new gang, making their plans on both of the Mobius dimensions. In at number 3, his personality is pure evil. Scourge represents a lot of the same traits as Sonic, just with a darker tone and flipped around a bit. For starters, However, Sonic has a lot of friends and enjoys their company, where Scourge has no close friends and just sees anyone in his company as pawns to assist him in proving his own power. Another key example of this is when it comes down to battles. Where Sonic just sees them as sport, Scourge will fight to further display his dominance and does this namely by inflicting some pretty excruciating pain on his opponents. Plus, if given the opportunity, he's not above killing them as well. In at number 2, he can achieve super form. Before his transformation, Scourge displayed a lot of the same powers and abilities as Sonic. They both averaged the same speed of 760 miles per hour and could do their trademark spin dashes. Once the transformation happened to Scourge, he acquired enhanced strength and stamina. This was put on display in comic book number 161, where he fought both Sonic and Shadow simultaneously. Much like Sonic, he can also take on a super form. However, with the chaos energy he's absorbed, his super form changes his fur into this dark purple, with the irises of his eyes becoming a glowing red. Lastly, on our number 1 spot, he's a classic character. Scourge has been around since the very beginning of the Sonic franchise. When Archie Comics approached Sega in 1992, they saw the potential in developing a comic book series based on the widely popular video game. The direct evil counterpart for Sonic was developed and made his first appearance not too long after in 1994. At first, he was written in as a bit of a cliche, being that he was called Sonic's evil twin, but what it ended up doing was allowing the creators to concoct literally hundreds of other parallel Sonic universes. And by 2017, it was the longest comic book series based on a video game in the world. Even the Guinness Book of World Records approved of this. And that has been the top 10 scary Scourge the Hedgehog facts. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, show us some love by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, leave us a comment down below with which fact is your favorite. And for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is click that playlist on your screen. From Top 10 Gaming, I'm Johnny Rogers. Until next time, take care.